Well, if you've been living in a cave or you haven't been paying any attention at all to the news, you may not know that Pope Francis is now being accused of claiming that there is no hell.
Yes.
And for those of us who read that story and were actually not surprised at that Pope Francis would say that because of his history, right? I mean, if we were taking this to a court of law, we would go, okay, what is the evidence that this man has a history of doing this sort of thing, right? And so the Pope does have a history of making these types of statements. All we have to do is go back to 2014. We actually reported on this when the Pope, the head of the Roman Catholic Church, they call him the head of the Catholic Church. He's not the head of the Catholic Church. The word Catholic means universal, right? He's the head of the Roman Catholic Constantinian Church. That's what he's the head of. He expressed his endorsement for the theory of evolution while speaking at the Pontifical Academy of Sciences. He also stated support for the Big Bang Theory as the explanation for the origin of the universe, adding that both the Darwinian evolution and the Big Bang do not conflict with the idea of God as the creator of life and the universe. Well, he's right there. I mean, it doesn't conflict with the idea that a God created life and the universe. It does, however, conflict with the idea that the God of the Bible is the creator of life and of the universe. And in fact, by saying this, the Pope actually called Jesus and the Bible flat out lies. I mean, Jesus himself fully and completely endorsed the Genesis account of God's creation of humanity and the universe when Jesus said, "Haven't you read that God created them male and female?" He didn't create them as bacterial entities. He created man, and he created woman, and he called them both male and female.
Yeah, and
that's how that all went down according to the Bible.
Yeah, he didn't create genders outside of that, and he didn't create gender fluidity, and he didn't create gender confusion, and he did. Yeah. Haven't you heard? And he didn't mean for marriage between two men or two women. I mean, this is the Word of God. This is not Mike and Carl. We're just telling you the Word of God. If you don't like it, take it up with your Creator. Go ahead, Mike.
Right, and so, this is the whole thing with the Catholic Church. Now, for many people may be wondering, well, why, Mike Schuessman's a born-again Christian. He's not. Listen, I was brought up in the Catholic Church. I am a baptized and confirmed Roman Catholic. According to Roman Catholic doctrine, Mike Schuessman is going to heaven and Carl Gallups is not. And I meet all of the qualifications to be Pope. Okay, they are that I am a man and I am a Roman Catholic. Those are the only two qualifications to be Pope. And you know what, Carl, honestly, all they would have to do is just make me Pope. And I would straighten all this out.
Yes, you could.
The first thing I would do is I would just dissolve the Roman Catholic Constantinian system. I would just dissolve all of it. Then I would name all of those guilty of child abuse within the Roman Catholic Church. I would just name it and get all these people prosecuted and get them out of society and just put an end to this whole thing. Because the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope says there is no hell, allegedly, but the Roman Catholic Church has sent more people to this hell than any other social construct, societal construct out there. The Roman Catholic Church has done that, by the way. And also, Carl, I have a question for you, by the way, okay? Because this story came out on Fox News by Caleb Park. He's with Fox News, okay? A theology professor at a Roman Catholic college is making some bizarre statements, some would even say blasphemous claims about Jesus Christ that is causing a stir on campus. College of the Holy Cross professor Dr. Tat Seong Benny Liu claims Jesus was a drag king who had queer desires.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that article posted at PNN.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, Carl, you have a Sunday school in your church, right? You do Sunday school classes and all that,
Bible
right?
classes,
Right. Now, if word came to you that one of your Sunday school teachers was teaching this blasphemy that Jesus had homosexual desires and tendencies and so on, wouldn't you tell that teacher that he's no longer allowed to teach in your class, right? In your school?
Absolutely, immediately.
Right.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be a member of the church anymore unless he really did some repenting. Go ahead.
This Roman Catholic college, the president voiced his disagreement with this teacher He said, I know Professor Lou to be a dedicated teacher and an engaged scholar. He's a man of faith. He and his family, active members in the church, and so on and on. He says, however, he says, scholars in all disciplines are free to do this sort of thing in the school because it's a liberal arts class.
Yeah.
Now that just puts on full display the acceptance of this sort of demonic activity within the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah, it's apostasy
right?
and blasphemy. Yeah, we're going to have to take a break in less than a minute. Go ahead.
Well, let's do it. I mean, so when we hear reports coming out that Pope Francis says there is no hell, well, within the teaching of the Roman Catholic Church, that Jesus in the Bible is a lie.
Right, it does. Folks, we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, Mike and I, as promised, we will tell you about this story that has been reported most recently, that the Pope was reported to have said that there is no hell, and at death you just cease to exist. In the meantime, the Vatican kind of pushes back on it. However, they really did not disavow the Pope's denial of hell, and the Pope has not come out and disavowed it either. So this story's got some legs, and it's going around the world. We'll be back with that, Mike Shoesmith and I, right after this time out. Don't go. And welcome back, Mike Shoesmith. So, Mike, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this story up, then I'm going to turn it over to you. But for those of you that don't know the story, here's the long and the short of it. I mean, Mike's gone back through some backstory to the whole thing and some other blunders that have been made by Pope Francis and heavily documented. But so just yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, headlines started popping up everywhere that the Pope supposedly made a statement, a claim that he does not believe in hell and believes that when people die, they just cease to exist. Okay? Which, according to the Word of God, is absolutely not true. That's absolute heresy and apostasy. That calls Jesus a liar. It calls the Word of God a lie. It calls the Old Testament a lie. It calls the New Testament a lie, etc. All right, so that was the headline. Well, it went like wildfire. Well, within, I don't know, an hour or two, the Vatican publishes a disclaimer saying that he did not do that. And so let me just read that disclaimer, because this is what's interesting. It says, what is reported by the... Okay, here it is. Here's what they said. What is reported by the author in today's article is the result of the author's reconstruction, in which the Pope's exact words are not cited. No quotations of the aforementioned article must therefore be considered as a faithful transcription of the Holy Father's words, this statement concludes. All right, now here's the thing, folks. The whole deal was that the Pope supposedly had a private meeting with whom he calls a dear and longtime friend who happens to be a stone and staunch atheist. And he also happens to be the founder of a newspaper in Italy called La Repubblica. Okay? So the whole thing was printed in Italian. It was translated into English, wherein he claims, in quotes, that the Pope told him in this private meeting that he didn't believe in hell. And so he printed it and put quotes around it. And so the point is, Mike Shoesmith, is that, I mean, if that's true, then that's pure apostasy. You know, it's just pure heresy. But again, the Vatican comes out and says, well, that's really not how it happened. And there's so many questions we want to ask, Mike. What's the Pope doing with this this dear friend that's an atheist? Excuse me. I mean, we can be friendly with atheists, of course, and I've got people that I would say are friends, but I don't wine and dine and sup with them and watch movies with them and hang out at their house. I mean, you know, because this kind of stuff happens. But anyway, the thing is, the Pope hasn't denied that he said it, and the dude that wrote it, his atheist friend, he's sticking by it. He's saying he did say it. That's why I've got it in quotes. The Pope has not denied it. Now the Vatican has denied it with this mishy-mashy, wishy-washy statement that doesn't just say we categorically deny it. It goes through all of these politically correct words of the aforementioned article must be considered. It's not his exact words. Well, what were his exact words? You know. So anyway, let me hush. You tell the rest of it.
I have been on atheist radio programs, Carl, being interviewed by them, and I make sure that I always record my end of everything, because as you know, we can't trust them. We can't trust them because their father is the devil. Hello, the devil. And you know, there's a priest in France who says now that Pope Francis approved of him blessing homosexual couples. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So is that true? We don't know, but this priest in France, this Roman Catholic priest, says that the Pope endorsed his blessing of homosexual couples. And Carl, how many atheist friends do you have that you confide with and you have personal one-on-one conversations with? You don't have people like that in your life. Again, you say you're friendly with them, you want to see them get saved, etc. But this person, this Eugenio Scalfari, he is a close personal friend of the Pope.
Yeah,
and they
meets
confide in each other,
privately
they
with
counsel
him.
with each other.
Yeah.
But James 4:4, and this is a real eye-opener, okay? James 4, verse 4 says, "You adulterers and adulteresses, know you not that friendship of the world is enmity with God?
Right.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God." Mm-hmm. And that verse really should be an eye-opener to the Pope. And by the way, this is just more evidence that the Roman Catholic Church no longer is even trying to exhibit any kind of belief or faith in the God of the Bible and the tenets written therein. They have completely gone off the Bible train here, people. And I wonder about that verse in the Bible that says, "Come out of her, my people." I wonder if we need to take another look at that and go, wait a minute, could that be talking about the Roman Catholic Constantine system of religious idol worship?
American Survival Wholesale is proud to sponsor this ministry and their efforts to shed light on the issues that face our nation. As a veteran and Christian-owned and operated company, we support the freedom to express these Christian principles. We all understand the importance of being prepared. After witnessing the devastation of Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and the wildfires that affected so many, please support this ministry by clicking on the link below and check out the amazing alt media package for our listeners. Plus, if you use the promo code PNN Radio, that's PNN Radio, you will receive free shipping, a savings of up to $200. Just click on the link below, but please do it today. Your support means so much to this channel.